All right, guys. Thanks for coming back to another video on Raspberry Pi. Now, we have installed the Raspberry Pi to what's it called? SD card. And now we're going to boot it up. And we have put in our Wi-Fi credentials and everything is great. So how do we continue from now? So there are two options that you can do. Either you can go headless or you can have what is called a display connected. Headless is no display connected at all and no um, keyboard or anything like that. But if you have a keyboard and you have a monitor, you can connect it to the Raspberry Pi, and the installation is very similar. Uh, Albeit when you're doing it on a monitor, you have to connect with the HDMI connector and also use the OTG adapter with the USB. There is a small USB on the board that you connect it to, which you then connect the keyboard to. So the OTG to the keyboard connector. But first of all, the most important thing is put in the microSD card slot into this SD card slot adapter. And when you have done that, you put in the power. And if you wanted to do with the monitor and also the HDMI, you just put in the OTG to normal USB and then the USB to the keyboard and the mini HDMI to HDMI adapter. And then we go. If you're following along with the headless installation, just hold on for a bit. Now, if you are following along with the headless installation, what you need to do is connect to this Raspberry Pi. Now, this should work. Yes. So this is why we needed to remember the host name for the last video. If you put this information in, you should be able to find it. So what I'm doing here is I am using the secure shell to the Raspberry Pi. Now, normally when you're running a Linux installation, you most likely have SSH installed. If you don't, just put this information in and it should be installed. SSH is already the newest version. Just continue. Sweet. Now let's do this again. So what I am doing is I am putting SSH, then the username. My username was Sune, and I'm already logged in as Sune on my Debian account. So and then the host name, and now everything is fine. What we saw earlier with the yes, no, that was the hashing information. Just put in yes. So when you have successfully logged in, you are greeted with this. Very good. I am currently running Ethernet instead of Wi-Fi since it's better for me, but that is no worries from you. So first of all, let's see if we can connect to the outside world. If we can do the SSH, we have connection to this device, but we should be able to ping, for example, this without any issue. Very good. So what are we going to do now that we have installed and successfully connected to the Raspberry Pi Zero? We are going to, first of all, do a simple update. Whoopsie daisy. This always takes a bit of time. And from what we can see, we have some updates to be run. Now, I'm going to explain everything to you, what everything means. First of all, now that we have this Raspberry Pi installed and ready to go, we have checked that we have internet connection and we see that sudo apt update works. We're going to see what we can do. Now we have spent approximately $70 on this device, and we haven't really explained to what we're going to do. I would like to explore some different things with you: Linux administration, ARM. ARM is not the physical ARM, it's a processor architecture. We'll go into that as well and how that differs from, for example, Intel processors. We will also go into some DNS and networking settings. We will also go into a lot of other stuff. One of the first things that we need to do is we need to see if we can do some Linux updates. So when we're talking about Linux, there are a lot of things we can do. Let me see, now you should have better readability. First of all, sudo. What does this mean? I touched upon this on an earlier video. Super user do. Does that mean? You can do. Oh, sorry. Or su. That means going into root. Now I don't remember. No, we didn't configure the root password. Anyway, we have sudo, so we shouldn't have to do that right now. With sudo, we're able to do a lot of things. If you have a Windows computer, you normally get updates fairly regularly, once a week or once a month or something like that, where it says you have to update your computer. In Linux, you are essentially put into that perspective where you have to update your device constantly yourself. And how do you do that? I did a command sudo apt update earlier. What this essentially does is it contacts a series of websites and asks them, hello, I have this package information. What sort of package information exists now? So, for example, when I put this, we can see that I have hit one. It's a website called deb.debian.org for Bookworm. And what I am essentially asking here is, hello, is there a difference from this hit from what I have earlier? And this does the Raspberry Pi Zero. It has calculated, oh, I have 440 packages that are different from what I saw. So if we can see what sort of packages that are upgradable. We can see that here. And there's a lot of different packages. And a lot of them have minor revisions and stuff like that. We can see, for example, Bash here is version B9 and from B7. So there's a small update. And we can see that there's for all these sort of things. This is very important to remember when you're installing something. For example, Python. You might install a old Python package and that package isn't compatible. That's one sort of thing that you might experience. But let's do this update. So what we need to do first is we need to clear the screen so we can see what we're doing. And how do we upgrade? So what this means is sudo super user do advanced packet manager, if I remember correctly, and then we're going to upgrade existing packages. And we can see here the following packages are no longer required. Oh, very good. And there are some new packages instead. And all the base files and all the other stuff that we checked before. We can also see now that it will take approximately 125 additional disk space. And we want to do this upgrade, so we press yes. And now it's going to get all of those 140 files from all of these archives. And this can take quite a bit of time. It was even more than 140. Seems that there might have been some sort of parts. Yes, we can see here part 2 and start, that sort of thing. SSH, Python 3, NetTools. Now, this Raspberry Pi 02 isn't the fastest, and that's true for all of the Raspberry Pis. And one thing that you have to learn with running lower end devices is that some things take quite a bit of time, which is all right. Don't worry about it taking a lot of time. Go make a tea or a coffee or something. Because now we're going to upgrade every single one package at a time. We can think about it like this. Every single package that we downloaded, we're now going to unpack. Essentially, if you have used WinRAR or 7-zip or something like that, they extract that and run the package. If you remember on how we installed um, the Debian file for Raspberry Pi Imager, it's essentially the same. They're running the installation that we run ourselves, but this is an automated process for every single. So this will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes, and I will get back to you when it's done. Now we return for a quick little intermission here. So what we're seeing here is a configuration file has been updated with a new version. So what we would like to do about it, since this is a very big distribution, let's say, it's from Init FS tools. I would say that yes, I would like to install the package managers version. We haven't installed any sort of different dependencies or anything like that. So I'm going to press yes, and we will continue tugging along. So this is something that might happen to you as well. I would recommend that since this is a fresh installation, press yes. There is no harm in doing it right now. There might be some people that are telling me that no, you shouldn't do this for this and other reasons. For all intents and purposes right now, press yes. That's what I recommend that you do. If you're a more advanced Linux user, we might be able to discuss it in the comments if you want to. Great, now we have updated our Raspberry Pi. Very good. So, what are we going to do next? Fairly easily, we're going to install a firewall because none of that we don't have a firewall. So, one firewall that we would like to have is a fairly simple one. It's called UFW, Uncomplicated Firewall. Now, first of all, when we're activating this, we need to be a bit careful because we just spent like half an hour installing the updates and everything like that, and also configured the SD card. It would be a shame to lose access to this Raspberry Pi. So when we do this, we need to allow port number 22 when we have installed it, okay? So first of all, there is a sort of thing that you will get to do is always run this command. Sudo apt update before you install anything, and it always takes a bit of time. Don't worry. It always takes time to read the package lists and everything like that. Great. So now that we have installed this, be sure to, when you have installed this, that you do this. That's the first thing I want you to do. I want you to sudo ufw allow 22 or SSH. Both of them, please. So we don't have any issues. That would be very, very bad. Now, very good. We now have a firewall and everything is disallowed other than SSH. And we need the password to connect. So that's very good. I feel like this is a good way to stop right here. We now have 20 minutes approximately of video. So let's pause here and get back into another video.